The intensity is rising, and the fight game is moving fast. Ilia Topuria is stepping up with a brutal assessment of Conor McGregor, flatly stating that the former double champ is almost finished. Topuria is already looking toward his massive title unification bout against Dustin Poirier, leaving the Conor McGregor questions firmly in his rearview mirror, unless the Irishman can find a way to reinvent himself.
Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the Pop Sockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
But the comeback trail for Conor McGregor is looking steeper than ever. Former middleweight King Chris Weidman is speaking out with a heavy warning, drawing on his own traumatic history with a shattered leg to explain why returning to the cage is far more than just a physical battle. Weidman insists that the mental hurdle is the real test for McGregor if he ever plans on stepping back into the spotlight. The friction between Conor McGregor and his past opponents is not cooling off either. Dustin Poirier just made his feelings crystal clear during a recent discussion, firing a quick jab at the Irishman's recovery prospects that reminded everyone their rivalry remains as heated as ever. It is the kind of lingering tension that proves the history between these two fighters is never truly buried. Meanwhile, the landscape of past rivalries is shifting in surprising ways, as Jose Aldo reveals he has moved past his bitter history with Conor McGregor to build a genuine friendship. Aldo even shared that he reached out to offer support regarding McGregor's personal journey, marking a massive turnaround from their 13-second showdown in 2015. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another update from the world of fighting. Is Conor McGregor actually washed up, or is he just waiting for the perfect moment to prove us all wrong? The MMA world is buzzing after Ilia Topuria, the man currently holding the throne, decided to get brutally honest about a potential super fight with the notorious one. During a candid sit-down with Ariel Helwani, Topuria didn't hold back, admitting that while the UFC has put the idea on the table, he sees things quite differently than most. He bluntly stated that sports-wise, Conor is effectively finished. It is a bold claim, but when you look at the landscape, it makes sense. Topuria is currently laser-focused on his own meteoric rise, fresh off massive wins and staring down a high-stakes title unification bout against Dustin Poirier this June. Meanwhile, McGregor has been sidelined since that horrific leg injury back in 2021, with his comeback plans constantly derailed by bad luck and broken toes. It creates a massive contrast between a hungry, active champion and a superstar struggling to regain his footing. Topuria isn't closing the door entirely. He admits that if Conor can secure a legitimate win and generate some real momentum, the conversation changes. But let's be real. This wouldn't be a fight about rankings or legacy. It would be about the massive, undeniable spectacle that only a name like McGregor can bring to the table. Personally, I think Topuria is right to keep his eyes on his own greatness while treating the McGregor circus as a potential payday rather than a test of skill. Do you think Conor still has one last magic moment left in him, or has the game passed him by? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure to hit that subscribe button for the latest in fight news. And until next time, keep your guard up. Ever wondered if you could just flip a switch and go back to being the version of yourself from 5 years ago? For Conor McGregor, that hypothetical isn't just a midlife crisis. It is the reality of his looming UFC return. After 5 years on the sidelines and a leg injury that still haunts the collective memory of the fight world, the notorious one is back in the testing pool. But is he ready for the reality check waiting for him inside that cage? Dana White says things are looking good, and former middleweight champ Chris Weidman is inclined to agree, noting that no one enters the USADA pool just for the sake of the aesthetic. But here is the brutal truth. A broken leg isn't just a physical hurdle. Weidman, who famously suffered his own traumatic leg injury, is warning us all that the biggest battle happens between the ears. He describes a haunting experience where his own body simply refused to let him throw a kick during his comeback fight, a survival instinct triggered by trauma that overrides years of training. For McGregor, the physical recovery might be in the rearview mirror, but the mental block is a different beast entirely. Weidman suggests that Conor's recent focus on his faith and stabilizing his life might be exactly what he needs to bridge that gap. At the end of the day, fight game is chess played at supersonic speeds, And if your mind isn't fully calibrated, the game changes. Can Conor reclaim his throne, or has the sport moved on while he was busy healing? Smash that like button if you think the Notorious One still has that championship spark, and let me know in the comments. Do you think we will see the old Conor or a shadow of his former self? Stay sharp, because in this game, your biggest opponent is usually the one staring back at you in the mirror. Can you ever really bury the hatchet when the scars run this deep? The rivalry between Dustin the Diamond Poirier and Conor McGregor is arguably the most volatile saga in UFC history, and it seems even years later, the tension hasn't evaporated. Recently, while chatting with Jorge Masvidal and the crew, the topic of McGregor's long-awaited comeback came up. Now, for context, Conor hasn't stepped into the octagon since that horrific leg break back in 2021. When Chris Weidman, who has walked that same brutal path of recovery, expressed genuine goodwill for Conor's return, Poirier didn't miss a beat. He fired back with a cold, "Not me, I hope the worst for him." He followed it up with a smirk and a laugh, claiming it was all a joke, but let's be real. The history here is anything but funny. We're talking about 3 fights, a knockout for both sides, and that infamous trilogy conclusion where the leg break ended things on the bitterest of terms. Throw in the ugly accusations about personal messages to Poirier's wife, and you have a recipe for a grudge that lasts a lifetime. McGregor has tried to play the peacemaker, even sending congratulatory notes on Instagram. But Poirier isn't buying what he's selling. It's clear that for Dustin, this isn't just business, it's personal. Whether you think it's professional maturity or a petty feud, one thing is certain. Some rivalries in the fight game never truly cool down. What do you think? Is Poirier just keeping the hype alive, or is there genuine animosity that will never fade? Drop a comment below with your take, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the world of combat sports. At the end of the day, championships are won in the cage, but legacies are defined by who we refuse to forgive. We all remember that 13-second knockout heard round the world. It was 2015, the hype was suffocating, and for Jose Aldo, it was the most bitter chapter of his career. For years, the tension between him and Conor McGregor felt permanent, a classic case of 2 titans who simply didn't mix. But what if I told you the bad blood has been replaced by a genuine, unexpected friendship? In a recent interview, Aldo pulled back the curtain on his dynamic with the Notorious One, and the shift is honestly heartwarming. It turns out that intense rivalry has cooled into mutual respect and even spiritual connection. Aldo shared that they actually exchange messages, and he recently reached out to congratulate Conor on his personal faith journey. It's a powerful reminder that in the brutal world of MMA, the cage is just a temporary place to work, not a lifetime sentence of animosity. Aldo isn't just letting go, he's actively rooting for Conor's future, even weighing in on the massive rumors of a potential showdown with Max Holloway. He believes it's the perfect stage for a comeback, and honestly, who wouldn't want to see that? It's refreshing to see legends move past the trash talk and find common ground. Do you think a friendship like this changes how we look back at their 2015 clash? Or will that 13-second knockout always define them? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more stories behind the headlines. After all, even the greatest rivals are human beings at the end of the day.